It's just a normal day at the bay. Or is it? Glenelg, historic South Australian seaside suburb, is host to more than 1,600 vehicles, all pre-1950, for the start of the 1990 Bay to Birdwood Run. Entrants have been gathering at the bay since daybreak. This is the 6th Bay to Birdwood Run, a motoring event unique in the world for its sheer size and presentation. An event which, over the years, has brought participants from South Africa, New Zealand, Hong Kong, England and Canada, along with every Australian state, into Adelaide for one of the most exciting and imaginative events ever. The 1990 Bay to Birdwood Run began on a perfect spring day. From the first rays of sunlight, entrants gathered at the bay. Barbecues were out, champagne was at the ready. The town crier kept the crowd informed.
Gather round, all ye fine citizens, for an announcement of great import.
Until it was time for the official business. Traditional scattering of the seaweed and cutting of the ribbon. In previous Bay to Birdwood runs, the South Australian Premier, John Bannon, officiated before actually taking part himself. This year, overseas commitments kept him from a favourite duty. But Tourism Minister Barbara Weiss was only too happy to step in. The Bay to Birdwood Run began in the late 1970s when a group of motor vehicle enthusiasts and visionaries got together to form a triumvirate. The Federation of Vintage Car Clubs of South Australia, the Birdwood Mill and Adelaide Television's Channel 7. Their aim, to provide South Australia with an ongoing event which would not only cater for the motoring fraternity, it would offer an unforgettable spectacle for onlookers, and it would raise funds for the Children's Research Foundation through the annual Channel 7 Christmas Appeal. If we could see into the future, it would be simple. But we don't have a crystal ball. All we have is hope and the opportunity to provide researchers with the funds needed to continue. Whenever you give to the Christmas Appeal, through its many fundraising activities, you're helping us face up to the future. And above all else, we owe our children this. Face up to it. Their future is in our hands. In September 1980, the inaugural Bay to Birdwood drew more than 600 entrants. Numbers peaked in South Australia's Jubilee year to more than 1,800. And this year, for the 6th run, more than 1,650 vehicles registered. The event brings all motoring clubs throughout Australia together, with more than 200 clubs participating, and many now including the Bay to Birdwood Run and its associated 2-week Motorfest in their annual planning calendars.
I welcome and call upon the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Barbara Weiss. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the Minister.
Mayor of Glenelg, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is my first Bay to Birdwood Run, and I'm looking forward to it tremendously. In the 10 years since it first began, it's become a bigger and better event every time. It's now the largest historic motoring event of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, and one of the largest in the world.
As the ribbon is cut and the first old-timers chug their way up the wide thoroughfare that is the Anzac Highway, they're cheered on by thousands of spectators, family groups, sporting teams, the old and the young, determined to make this day for remembering a day to remember. The 1990 Bay to Birdwood Run saw the largest spectator crowd yet, with conservative estimates putting more than 100,000 people on the roadsides to wave the entrance on. The major complaint, sometimes the only one by entrance at the end of the run, was because of sore arms through waving. While the Bay, site of South Australia's settlement in 1836, marks the beginning of it all, it's to Birdwood that everyone is heading. Home of the historic mill, picturesque sleepy country town, boasting National Trust buildings and lush green countryside. "60 kilometres from the Bay, Birdwood lies in the Onkaparinga Valley, surrounded by dairy farms and rolling hills, ageless gums and pockets of English country gardens. Home of the National Motor Museum, Birdwood on this day plays generous host to visitors from around the world and throughout the state. Thousands line the streets and country lanes en route to Birdwood. Thousands more trek through the turnstiles to explore the wonders the museum has to offer, or wander through paddocks, turned parking bays for the day, drinking in the beauty that was yesterday. Massive in its organisation and planning, such a run is only possible through the total cooperation of many groups and organisations, from local government and councils en route, to military police, service vehicles, the RAA, the automotive industry, and the South Australian Police Force.